नमो भगवते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्से नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्त। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So Arjuna has had asked two questions. He asked, the first question was sannyas. Sannyasasya mahabhavo tattvam ichchami veditum. त्यागस्य च ऋषिकेश पृथक् केशि निषूदन. So what is the difference between sannyas and tyag? So no. Prabhupada writes, the 18th chapter speaks of the three types of sannyas, jnana and karma, defines liberation, and indicates bhakti as the highest secret of all. You stated in the previous chapter, uttering the word tat without seeking results, sacrifices, austerity, and charities are performed by those with a desire for liberation from the atat material world. Those with a desire for liberation are sannyasis, but there seems to be others who are detached from all the results of their work, as mentioned by you when you said sarvakala karma phalam pratyagam patkuru yatat mamam, giving up all the results of your work with great attention. Bhagavata 12.11. What is the tag of these others? Wanting to know the distinction, Arjuna asks a question in this verse. If the words sannyas and tag have different meanings, I desire to know the distinct essence of these two. But if they mean the same thing, in your opinion or others' opinion, I desire to know what is that one meaning as well. O control of the senses, Rishikesha. You have made this doubt arise in me since you are the instigator of my intelligence. O killer of Keshi, Keshi Nishudana, you will kill this doubt of mine just as you killed Keshi. O mighty armed one, Mahabhavo, you have great strength in your arms, and I have insignificant strength in my arms. You have become friendly with an expansion such as me, rather than with your other expansions with vast knowledge. Therefore, I am not afraid to ask this question since you have become somewhat friendly with. Hmm. So, Chakravarti writes Bhagavata 12.11. Their tag is used. Baldev Vidyabhushan writes Sarva Karma Manasa Sannyasasте Shukam Masi. Bhagavata 5.13. And Tektva Karma Phala Sangam. Bhagavata 4.20. So he basically wants to know about the difference between sannyasa and tag. Hmm? Sri Bhagwan Vacha. So this already you have seen. You have to just read the purport of Chakravarti Path. If somebody can read. Hmm.
Taking up the former idea first, the Lord explains the different derivations of two words to renounce nyas at the very, sorry, at the very root activities performed for fulfilling personal desires. Kam, Kamyanam Karmanam is called sannyas. Personal desires are indicated in such statements as the following: Putra kamo yajate, Swarga kamo yajate. One with a desire for a son should worship. One with desire for Swarga should worship. Up, Apastamba Shrusta Putra 3.9.4 19.10.14. This does not mean that one should reject daily obligatory activities, Nitya Karma, such as Sandhya worship. Note, Nitya Karmas are activities ordered by the scriptures as obligatory for certain persons. Kamya Karmas are activities described in scripture for persons having certain desire, such as desire for wealth or sons. These are not obligatory for anyone, but are performed according to personal desire. Tyag means that one should give up the results of all activities in performance of action with personal desire, kamya karma, or in the performance of obligatory action, nitya karma, rather than to give up those activities completely. For the Shrutis also promise results even for the obligatory actions, Nitya Karma.
Continue, bro. I think you're muted, Prashant.
Yes, sorry, Guru. By obligatory actions, one goes to Pitraloka. Brihad Arankya Upanishad 1.5. Dharmena papam apanudat, apunadati. By following dharma, one eradicates sin. Mahanarayan Upanishad 15.7. Therefore, in Tyag, one should perform all Kamya karmas and Nitya karma without seeking results. Whereas in Sannyas, one performs only obligatory duties, Nitya karma, without a desire for results and completely rejects rituals for personal gratification, Kamya karma. This is the distinction of two words, Sannyas and Tyag.
So in Tyag, one should perform all Kami karmas and Nitya karmas without seeking results. Wherein sannyas, one performs only obligatory duties, Nitya karma, without the desire for results, and completely rejects ritual for personal gratification, Kanya karma. This is a distinction of the two words sannyas and Tyag according to Chakravarti path. What is a Kanya karma? A sense gratification. What is Nitya karma? Activities which are supposed to be done for everyday maintenance, like our Nitya karma for us is here, at least Chakravarti path in this he has written. Of course. What is Nitya karma according to him? This does not mean that one should reject the daily obligatory activities such as Sandhya worship and other things. Nitya karmas are activities ordered by scriptures as obligatory for certain persons. Basically, what is ordained for grahasthas, he should get up, he should take bath, he should perform yajna, and then he should give charity. So we have seen in the 16.1, 2, 3 for brahmachari, grahastha, vanaprastha, sannyas, and therefore for brahmachari, grahastha, vanaprastha, sannyas, for brahman, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra. What is the nitya karma is mentioned there. So that one should do, but one should not do the kama karma. Tyaga means you do both, but don't go for the result. And sannyas means you do nitya karma, but you should not do kama karma. But while doing nitya karma also, you're not seeking result. That is one difference he has mentioned here. Again, the Baldev Vidyabhushan also writes the same thing. Same thing. Okay. So, third purport of Chakravarti. Somebody else can read this? Third purport. Already we have seen Prabhupada's purport. First, we are seeing Acharya's purports. Yes.
In this verse, the Lord states differing opinions about Tyaga. The followers of Sankhya philosophy of Kapila says that action should be completely given up, Tyagam, since by their very nature actions breed violence to other creatures. They quote the Shruti statements Ma himsayat sarva bhutani, no, do not commit violence against any living entity. Note, this is also quoted by Sridhara in his commentary on this verse. It also is quoted in the 2.19 by Ramanuja as well as in their Vedanta Sutra commentaries on 3.1.25. Source is not given in all these cases. Chandogya Upanishad 8.15 has similar statement. Ahimsa sarva bhutani. The Shruti says that violence is integral to the sacrifice. Agni somyam pashum alabhir. One should obtain an animal for the sacrifice. Taittiriya Samhita 6.1.11.6. Therefore, one should give up all these actions as being caused by impurities. Also, there is the possibilities of violence in producing the ingredients of sacrifice. They say that all prescribed duties should be given up. Others, the followers of Jaimini, says that actions such as sacrifice should never be given up because one incurs no sin from performing what is prescribed in the Vedas. Even if there is violence in the action, there is not fault because it is following the principles of dharma according to the Vedas. They must be performed. The injunctions of non-violence stated in the Vedas is a general rule and speaks of incurring sins for actions other than sacrifice. The sacrifice cannot at all be criticized.
Yes. So Jaiminis, Mimamsakas, and Sankhya philosophers are being spoken here too. Sankhya say no violence, being non-violent. And the Mimamsaka says even if violence is involved, no issue, the sacrifice purifies us. So sacrifice should not be given up. These are the two personalities being spoken in 18.3 here. Yes, three kinds of opinions. So who can read this? Somebody else can read. Deepak.
In this verse, the Lord states his opinion. Tyaga has three types in Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. The Lord delays describing these three types till verse 7 and then starts with a description of Tyaga in the mode of Tamas. From the use of the word sannyas in describing tamasic Tyag in that verse, it is understood that Tyag and sannyas have the same meaning in the opinion of the Lord.
So Tyaga is in Sattva, Tyag in Rajas, Tyag in Tamas. And this is being described in till 7. This is 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7 it will be described. Yes, Baldev Vidyabhushan.
After describing the different opinions, the Lord states his own opinion. Please listen to the conclusion coming from me, the omniscient Supreme Lord, concerning the subject of Tyag, about which there are many opinions. Since you have just explained about Tyag, what more must be heard? You must hear because three types of Tyag are discerned by the learned by distinction of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, three vidaha. That which is difficult to understand should be heard. Therefore, listen about three types. The description actually starts in verse 7.
Three types of Tyaga. So this is going to start in verse 7. Yajna tapakkarma na tyajyam karyameva tat yajna danam tapaschaiva pavanani manishina. Yes. Yes, someone else can read this. Chakravarti commentary. Prabhupada speaks about the Vivaha Samskar. Although he's sannyasi, but he's getting it done so that disciples can practice bhakti. Yes, quickly.
According to the Lord, even among Kamya Karmas, optional, those sacrifices, charities, and austerities which are sattvic in nature should be performed without desire for result. Note, in the second verse, sannyas was defined as giving up the Kamya Karmas. This is explained in this verse. Sacrifice, austerity, and charity must be done because they cause purification of the consciousness.
So even if Kama karma is involved, sometimes sannyasis can do that because that will purify. The Prabhupada is quoting here, a sannyasi performing the marriage ceremony for his disciples. Yes, next you read Prabhupada the question.
In two verses, the Lord first states his own conviction in the matter. For the wise, the obligatory activities such as sacrifices, charity, and austerity should never be given up because they purify, pavanani, they destroy the faults accumulated by repeated births through the knowledge arising within them like a lotus blossoming from a root.
The knowledge aspect. Yes. एतानि अपि तु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलानि च कर्तव्यानि इति मे पार्थ निश्चितं मतम् उत्तमम्. I think you should start from 6th, na? You have stopped till 5, correct?
Yes, Prabhupada. All these activities should be performed without attachment or any expectation of result. They should be performed as a matter of duty, O son of Pritha. That is my final opinion.
Yes, Prabhupada purport.
Although all sacrifices are purifying, one should not expect any result by such performances. In other words, all sacrifices which are meant for material advancement in life should be given up, but sacrifices that purify one's existence and elevate one to the spiritual plane should not be stopped. Everything that leads to Krishna consciousness must be encouraged. In Srimad Bhagavatam, also, it is said that any activity which leads to the devotional service to the Lord should be accepted. That is the highest criteria of religion. A devotee of the Lord should accept any kind of work, sacrifice, or charity which will help him in the discharge of devotional service to the Lord.
Yes, Chakravarti Path commentary read.
In this verse, the Lord shows the method by which these actions become purifying, giving up the misconception of being the doer, sangam tvaktva, and also giving up the quest for results, falani. One should perform those actions. Giving up the idea of being the doer and giving up seeking results is tyaga, and this is also called sannyas.
So being doership and result. If one gives, then it becomes tyaga, and that is also called sannyas. Yes, Baldev Devotion.
In this verse, the Lord speaks of how the sacrifices and other acts are purifying. Having given up the idea of being the agent, sangam, and giving up all the results, falani, which the actions are said to produce, such as going to Pitraloka, one should do the actions only with the thought that they are worship of the Lord. This is the highest conclusion, Uttam Matam, discerned by me, Nishchitam. This conclusion of the Lord about Tyaga is the best because it includes additionally renunciation of being the doer.
Basically, when one does the kama karma and nitya karma, so generally the destination of the people is Pitraloka, because kama karma is activities of sense gratification. So generally what happens is one increases the lineage. One has to do this, what to say, tarpan for the Pitras. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did it to liberate his ancestors. But this is done, there is a sattvic way of doing it, there is a tamasic way of doing it. Like meat is offered, liquor is offered. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did it, he did it in a sattvic way by going to Gaya and offering the pinda to lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. So when this kama karma is done, then one ascends to Pitraloka. But when he gives up that tendency of kama karma and does it as nitya karma, that as coming in a lineage, it's my duty to liberate them, then what remains is, it doesn't remain a kama karma. He's renouncing that because he's not going to Pitras for some material benefits, but for as a duty to liberate them so that they can also proceed ahead. And he is a devotee. Because when you practice bhakti, what happens is we will chant Hare Krishna. If you practice bhakti, nishkama karma, at least karmishra bhakti, jnanamishra bhakti, or shuddha bhakti, there's every chance of going back to Godhead. For karmishra bhakti, his destination is Salukya. For jnanamishra bhakti, his destination is Shantarati. For shuddha bhakti, his destination is Goloka Vrindavana, or any of the rasas which he is engaged in, either Dwarka, either Ayodhya, he is Aradhya Dev, Aradhya Bhagavan. So according to that. But as soon as this Kama karma comes in, instead of the Salukya, it becomes Pitriloka because it becomes Bhakti Mishra Karma, not Karma Mishra Bhakti. Therefore, when you give up that result, the Tyaga is best, and renunciation of being the doership is also involved in it. नियतस्तु संन्यास कर्मणो नोपपद्यते मोहात् तस्य परित्यागास्तामसा परिकीर्तिता. Yes.
Prescribed duties should never be renounced. If one gives up his prescribed duties because of illusion, such renunciation is said to be in the mode of ignorance.
Yeah. So sannyasa or tyaga, sorry, not sannyas, tyaga. Tyaga in mode of good ignorance. Because there in fourth verse he spoke, from seventh verse onwards will be spoken. Nityastu sannyasa karmano padyate mohat tasya parityagas tamasa parikirtita sannyas. Renunciation, sannyas here it's sannyas. So sannyas in three modes. What are sannyas in three modes? In mode of ignorance, prescribed duties should never be renounced. We have varna, we have ashrama. According to that, one's prescribed duties is given. If one gives up his prescribed duties because of illusion, because of not having clarity, because of Oh, it's so tough. I want quick fix solution. I'm tired. I want to live a carefree life. I want to run from my responsibility. If that is a mood, that's called as illusion. Because he wants peace. He wants no tension. He wants easygoing way. Such renunciation is said to be in the mode of ignorance. So what is the purpose of renunciation? Is the purpose of renunciation to do seva for guru, for the pleasure of acharya, or we want to take sannyas, we want to give up all activities and just sit because okay, no work. We get 3 times prasad and take rest. That's it. And do some little seva, bare minimum. So therefore, this is a renunciation of sannyas and mode of ignorance. This is a quality.
Should I read Vishnu Chakravarti
Purport.
translation? Purport. Work for material satisfaction must be given up, but activities which promote one to spiritual activity, like cooking for the Supreme Lord and offering the food to the Lord and then accepting the food, are recommended. It is said that a person in the renounced order of life should not cook for himself. Cooking for oneself is prohibited, but cooking for the Supreme Lord is not prohibited. Similarly, a sannyasi may perform a marriage ceremony to help his disciple in the advancement of Krishna consciousness. If one renounces such activities, it is to be understood that he is acting in the mode of darkness.
So those activities which purify our heart and by which we can ascend to the spiritual world, they should not be given up. Even if the person is giving up all those activities also in the name of sannyas, then that is in mode of ignorance. The Chakravarti and Bhaktivedanta Bhushan translation says, which is independent of scripture, and it's not based on scriptural activity. That is in ignorance. Yes, Chakravarti, can you read?
Starting the description of the three types of tyaga, the Lord here describes tamasic tyaga, giving up daily activities, niyatasya karmana, is not recommended. To reject the nitya karmas out of ignorance of the meaning of scriptures, mohat, is called tamasic tyag. The sannyasi can reject kamya karmas since they are not obligatory, but nitya karmas are not to be rejected. That is the suggestion of the word tu. The result of such tamasic tyag is ignorance, instead of attaining attainment of knowledge, which was the very goal in rejecting the nitya karma.
Yeah. So here a person may renounce his activities out of illusion. So what is that illusion? The Chakravarti and Bhaktivedanta Bhushan, right? The illusion means ignorance of scripture. Illusion arising from the ignorance of meaning of the scripture. People may reject even nitya karma. Kama karma is okay, fine. But also they do nitya karma rejection, like sadhana, reading of scriptures. Think as sannyas means I have nothing to do with anything. So that is a renunciation in the mode of ignorance. Generally, who does it? Those who do sentimental renunciation, those who have not come in Guru Shishya Parampara, those who have never read any scripture, and somehow because of their toughness, because of their family background, they feel by let's go now. So that sentimental kind of renunciation, which has no scriptural basis, or they already scriptures but they have misunderstood because it is not coming in Guru Shishya Parampara, that kind of sannyasis in sannyasi mode of ignorance. Yes. What Bhaktivedanta Bhushan has to speak about it? Read, Prabhu.
Now the Lord speaks of the three types of tyaga that he promised to explain in 3 verses. One should give up karmas because they lead to bondage, but one should not renounce nitya and naimittika karmas such as the 5 daily sacrifices. Note, these are the Pancha Mahayajnas, offerings to Brahmana by chanting the Vedas, offerings to the Devas by Archana, offerings to the Pitris by Tarpana, offerings to guests by food, and offerings to animals by food. Nitya karmas are those prescribed for daily performance, and Naimittika are those prescribed periodically, such as monthly or yearly. These should not be given up because they produce liberation through the knowledge inherent in them from aiming at Atma, and they enable one to continue to support the material body. A person worshipping the Devatas, who are vibhutis of the Lord, can accomplish maintenance of his body for pursuing knowledge of the truth by taking the purified remnants. If a person does the opposite of what was stated in chapter 3, in such statements as Niyatam Kuru Karma Tvam, and gives up those duties completely, Parityaga, out of lack of knowledge, Moha, thinking they will cause bondage, it is in the tamasic mode, since that Moha is the quality of the mode of ignorance.
So to understand the purport of Baldev Vidyabhushan Chakravarti, these are the commentators from 500 years back, 300 years back, 350 years back. So during that time, what was the civilization of Sanatana Dharma? Was just Gaudiya's Vaishnava Parampara was just picking up. And apart from that, the Vedic Varnashram was very prevalent. The Mughals had started attacking, but still, the Grihasthas were supposed to do this 5 kind of sacrifice. So Pancha Yajna, that is called as Brahma Yajna, Deva Yajna, Pitra, and then Bhuta Yajna, and the Atiti. So basically, the whole thing is we have got money. As Grihasthas, we are earning money. The money by default has karma. And that karma has to be purified. And therefore, to purify that karma, one has to worship the devas, Vishnu, or based on different, according to their whatever kula they are coming, they have particular devas, they worship them. If somebody Vaishnava, they worship Vishnu, Srevas, they worship Shiva, based on the recommendation of what is their adhikar. And then they offer, they chant the Vedic mantras. Like Shaivas also Brahmanas, Vaishnavas also Brahmanas, and Kshatriyas are given Brahmanical thread, and Vaishyas are given Brahmanical thread. So all 3 higher classes, they're supposed to do this Panchakya of their Grihasthas. So they chant the mantras, they do this sacrifice early in the morning, Agnistoma sacrifice, and chant the Brahmanical mantras, and they worship the Devas by Archan, and they offer this offerings to the Pitras by Tarpan. On the full moon day and the new moon day, it is done. And they offer the guests, Atithis, whoever comes before the honor prasad, like Prabhupada used to say, Grihastha is supposed to go outside and ask, if somebody is there who is angry, please come and take. That is his way of purifying his money which is coming. And then to food and food to animals. Like whenever we honor food, in the Vedic Varnashram system, you remove the part for the birds and keep it. You remove the part for the dog and keep it. You remove part for the aquatics like fish and cook it. You remove some go grass part for the cow and remove it. So basically, the money which is coming, I am enjoying it, but I am not the enjoyer. I am not the doer. I am just the instrument. The whole concept of doing this yajna is that I'm not the doer, I'm not the enjoyer, I'm just a servant of the Lord, and these are all personalities whom I'm supposed to serve. Basically, one comes out of the doership mentality. That is the whole thought process. And because of that, the chitta or antakarana is purified by particular act. And this should not be given up by why it should not be given up? Because that results in purification of antakarana, the consciousness. Because if one gives up this thing which is purifying the consciousness, basically we have 3 parts: the karma, jnana, and bhakti. People who are in karma, if they come in touch with the jnana practitioners, they pick up the jnana sadhana. If they come in touch with the bhakti sadhakas, they pick up the bhakti sadhakas. But it's like you want to take off to the from by the plane. Now you have 2 kinds of plane, airplane. One is jnana plane, One is Jnana aeroplane and Bhakti aeroplane. But the airport is Varnashram Dharma. And what is that airport? What they're supposed to do? They should have a boarding pass, they should have a check-in, they should put the luggage, everything done, ready for it. And what is that? They should have an intention of purifying their antakaran. Basic eligibility for entering Jnana and eligibility for entering Bhakti is antakaran Shuddhi. And that is the reason Jiva Goswami writes in his purports in the 11th canto, 17th, 18th, 19th chapter that the perform of Varnashram is having such character that Parastri, Paradan, Parahimsa, he doesn't commit this. Because this Varnashram system purifies a person's antakaran so much. And therefore, this kind of Nitya Naimitaka karma, which is periodical means once in a month on full moon day and new moon day, or on the Pitru Paksha time, or on a particular Navratra time, and different things are mentioned based on the Gotras who are coming. That comes in the Varnashram part. These should not be given up because they produce liberation to the knowledge. What's the meaning of liberation to knowledge? Antakaran, purification of consciousness. So when he gets into Jnana Marg, so there he is again builds up Nishkama Karma Yoga. He starts doing Nishkama Karma Yoga. And what is Nishkama Karma Yoga? I'm doing this karma, but I'm not the proprietor. I am not the enjoyer. And he keeps on doing it till the time his Antakaran Shuddhi becomes completely purified. And once he becomes completely purified, then he takes Jnana Sannyas Marg. He takes Sannyas in Jnana Marg. And the same Varnashram personality, if he comes in touch with the Bhakti sadhakas, he does Nishkama Karma Yoga in the Bhakti. That is Karma Mishra Bhakti. He's doing karma, but he's Nishkama Karma is that I'm doing it, but he's giving up the results of that action in Jnana Marg. In Jnana Marg, this is not for me, this is for Brahman. Or I should give up this. Is mentality of Tyaga. I am not the enjoyer, I should give it up. But if he comes into the touch of Bhakti sadhakas, this, whatever property I'm having, whatever assets I'm having, let me offer this because I'm working and this is coming from the fruits of my action. Rather than the mentality in Jnana Marg is Tyaga, here the mentality is let me engage this in Lord's service. And that becomes Karma Mishra Bhakti. Sakayitava Karma Mishra Bhakti. So there also what happens, he's trying to offer his karma in Krishna's service so that his antakaran is getting purified more and more. And to the degree he keeps on doing it, he comes at the level of soul. Then it becomes Jnana Mishra Bhakti. To the degree he keeps on doing it, the Bhakti takes precedence than the knowledge of soul. Dependence on the Lord, the sixth symptom of surrender. Then that Dhradavarta Bhakti comes and then he enters into Shuddha Bhakti. And then Kanishta Madhyama Uttama. And then he slowly graduates from Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari to Uttama Adhikari. And then the destination is Golok Vrindavan. What about this Jnana Marg? Dantakaran Shuddhi, he takes sannyas. By default, the Jivatma has Jivar Surupan Krishna Nityadas, but because he has taken the path of sannyas, that is also covering him. When he keeps on doing the sannyas marg, Jnana sannyas marg, at some point of time, the karma sannyasis, you stop even seeing dualities, and even they give up the practice of the Jnana marg sannyas when they get completely purified. And that means external designation is gone. What remains is Jivere Swarupa Krishna Nityadas, which is covering the soul. And that little element of bhakti, when they give up even the element of Tyaga, Jnana Tyaga, Jnana Sannyas, Jnana Marg, they even reject the Jnana Marg. Then little bit of bhakti which is there. Bhakti Mishra Karma, Bhakti Mishra Dhyana. That gives them Brahman Mukti. Then they'll go to Brahman. So for purification, if you want to go to Brahma Jyoti, if you want to go to Vaikuntha, or if you want to go to Salokya, or if you want to Shantarati, What gives us is bhakti, whether it is Bhakti Mishra Jnana for the Brahmavadis, or Karma Mishra Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, or Shuddha Bhakti for the Sadhakas. And that is the reason here the Nitya Karma and Naimitya Karma are not to be rejected, because the reason is that gives us Antakaran Shuddhi, and that makes us eligible for either Jnana Marg or for Bhakti Marg. That is being spoken here in 7th. And when a person who is giving up the instruction of the scripture sentimentally, he is called as renunciation in the mode of ignorance. Yes, dukkam iti eva yat karma kaye klesha bhayat tyajit sakritva rajasam tyagam naiva tyagam phalam labet. Yes, someone can read.
Translation: anyone who gives up prescribed duties as troublesome or out of fear of bodily discomfort is said to have renounced in the mode of passion. Such action never leads to the elevation of renunciation.
Jacob writes in his translation, one who gives up the obligatory actions out of fear of bodily pain, thinking it is an unnecessary inconvenience for the body, performs tyaga in the mode of rajas and does not attain the intended result of the tyaga. Ignorance means sentimentally, not understanding the scriptural injunction. He just does it because he is not very clear, out of illusion. But somebody says, कितना कौन जाएगा सॉफ्टवेयर कंपनी में, सुबह उठ के 7 बजे निकलना है, टिफिन डब्बा पैक करना है, 2 चपाती थोड़ा सब्जी पैक करके जाएंगे, फिर कंपनी में खाना है। भाई आश्रम में जाएंगे तो भरपेट आराम से मॉर्निंग प्रोग्राम करो, गुरु पूजा करो, भागवतम क्लास करो, फुल फ्लेज्ड 3 टाइमर है तो 3 टाइमर ब्रेकफास्ट, या 2 टाइमर है तो 2 टाइमर लंच, थाली मिल जाएगा, आराम से आप प्राप्त करो। उसके बाद समय मिलेगा, पहले 5 साल तो बहुत सेवा मिलेगा, लेकिन कुछ समय के बाद इतना फ्रीडम मिलेगा कि आप अपने आप से थोड़ा जाके रेस्ट ले लो, ये करना है वो करो। बेसिकली आलस्य, in a sense, we don't want troublesome. Out of fear of bodily discomfort, is said to have renounced bodily pain, thinking it is unnecessary inconvenience for the body, perform tag in the mode of rajas, and does not attain the intended result of tyaga. The purpose is not bhajan. I want to become brahmachari, I want to become sannyasi so that I can sit and chant 32 rounds. I want to read Prabhupada books. I want to preach. I want to distribute books. First, I want to purify my heart, jiv sartak kare and kar, and want to give it to others. But thing is, ठीक है प्रभु जी, टेंशन ज्यादा नहीं, इतना टेंशन क्यों लेना है, घर में इतना किरकिर हो रहा है, शादी करेंगे तो पक्का माता पिता तो जमने वाला नहीं है, पत्नी भाग जाएगी, इससे अच्छा है ब्रह्मचारी बन जाओ, शांति से रहो, थोड़ा प्रसाद मिल जाएगा, थोड़ा सेवा कर लो और निकलो बाहर। यस, पर्पल।
One who is in Krishna consciousness should not give up earning money out of fear that he is performing fruitive activities. If by working one can engage his money in Krishna consciousness, or if by rising early in the morning one can advance his transcendental Krishna consciousness, one should not desist out of fear or because such activities are considered troublesome. Such renunciation is a mode of passion. The result of passionate work is always miserable. If a person renounces work in that spirit, he never gets the result of it.
So Prabhu also adding, giving up sadhana, morning brahm sadhana, out of discomfort, that is also in renunciation mode of passion. That is also one kind of renunciation, tyaga, but it is tyaga in mode of passion. Yes, Chakravarti what he writes.
Even though one knows the performance of Nitya Karma is necessary, and to do it is praiseworthy, and to neglect to do it is sinful, if one rejects the action thinking it is useless trouble to the body, it is known as Rajasic Tyaga. One will not attain the desired result of Tyaga, knowledge, by doing so.
Yeah, basically what happens when one gives up Nitya Karma, when one gives that 5 yagyas, the Antakaran Shuddhi doesn't take place. The consciousness is doership, ahankar doesn't get purified, and there is one doesn't become eligible for jnana or the bhakti marg, and because of that kind of tyaga is in mode of passion. And what happens right now, what is happening, the same thing, because the varnashram has completely collapsed, the whole brahman, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra, the whole goal is not for antakaran shuddhi, the goal is not selfless service, the goal is accumulate. And what is the reason? Because of what is the reason? The reason is It's like karma karma. They're only engaged in karma karma and they're destined. What? They can't even go to Pitraloka or Sargaloka. They just want to stay happy. Somehow or the other, make money in good way or in bad way. And what is the result? Forget about going to Pitraloka or Swargaloka. The destination is hellish. Because ignorance will not take you to Pitraloka or Swargaloka. Passion can take you. So they are not doing it based on scriptures. Yes. So I'm not getting desired result of Tyaga knowledge by doing so. Yes, Baldev Vidyabhushan?
Even knowing that performing prescribed action with no desire is the cause of liberation, if the desirer of liberation gives up those actions out of fear of bodily pain, kaya klesha bhayat, such as having difficulties to obtain the materials for sacrifice or disliking the discomfort of a morning bath, his renunciation is in the mode of passion. Since such experience of discontent is in the quality of mode of passion, having given up the actions, that person will not attain steadiness in jnana, tyagaphalam, which is the result of performance of the.
Yeah, when one wants to do this Panchama one has to get up in the morning, Brahmurta, take bath, cold water bath, and go for sticks, collect sticks, and then produce the fire, then produce the set up the Yajna Kunda, and do all those things. And one may think, अरे बाप रे इतना टेंशन, तब ठंड लग रहा है इतना बारिश है इसमें कौन जाएगा अभी चलो सो जाते हैं. That kind of renunciation is mode of passion. When one gives up without knowledge of scriptures, it is in mode of ignorance. When one knows it and one gives it up because of bodily inconvenience, that is in mode of passion. Renunciation is in mode of passion. कार्यम इति एव यत् कर्म नियतं क्रियते अर्जुन संगम त्यक्त्वा फलं चैव स त्याग सात्विको मतः. Yes.
O Arjuna, when one performs his prescribed duty only because it ought to be done and renounces all material association and all attachment to the fruit, his renunciation is said to be in the mode of goodness.
When performs his prescribed duty, it is ought to be done out of duty. It's a duty bond. And renounces all material association and all attachment to the fruit. Basically, he is not having karma karma. Even if he does karma karma, he is giving up one thing to him. He may not do. Even if he does it, he gives up the result of that. Whatever attachment is there for the fruit. His renunciation is said to be in the mode of goodness. So what Chakripal writes? Arjuna, that tag in which obligatory actions are performed for duty, nitya karma, naimiti karma, without sense of doership, ahankara is given up. And desire for the result, fruits are given up, is considered tyaga in the mode of sattva. Antagaran Shuddhi is started. Yes. Yes, please read Prabhupada.
Prescribed duties must be performed with this mentality. One should act without attachment for the result. He should be disassociated from the modes of work. A man working in Krishna consciousness in a factory does not associate himself with the work of the factory, nor with the workers of the factory. He simply works for Krishna. And when he gives up the result for Krishna, he is acting transcendentally.
Yeah. So what Prabhupada is writing here is offering the fruits of action. Prescribed duties must be performed with the mentality. Duty, one should act without attachment for the result. In the sense, he gets a salary. He should be disassociated from the modes of work. So what he's telling? When he goes to the company, आजू बाजू इतने लोग सिगरेट पी रहे हैं, चाय पी रहे हैं. Sometimes they have a late night party where they go to pubs, a monthly meet or a project completion meet where they go and eat non-veg and bar. But he may go sit there because he is a part of a thing. He may go and eat, drink milk, or he may tell, he goes sits there for 15 minutes and tells, have some other thing and pushes off from there. Nor with the workers of the factory. He simply works for Krishna. He knows because I'm in Grihast Ashram and I want to practice bhakti. I need some money, therefore I need this. So I'll come here. But I have nothing to do with these people. co-workers, nothing to do with this, what the activities the co-workers are doing. And when he gives up the result for the Krishna is acting transcendentally. So the salary also which he gets, he offers that salary in Krishna's service. He gives up the result for, he's acting transcendentally. So this is what the purport means. What Prabhupada is writing in terms of 19th century, 20th century scenario. What Chakravarti Prabhupada will write now is 17th century scenario. Yes, sir. You can read, Prabhu. Tejas, please read.
Performing the Nitya Karma, thinking this should be done without rejecting doership and desired result is called Sattvic Tyaga. It is understood here that the result of renouncing the fruits and not renouncing the action in this Sattvic Tyaga is knowledge.
So he'll do the Agya, but he doesn't want any fruits out of it. That I'll go to Pitraloka, I'll go to Swargaloka. But he's doing it. That's called Sattvic Tyaga, is in knowledge. And what will happen? You will get Jnana, Marga or Bhakti Marga. Yes, Baldev Bhushan purport.
As much as prescribed action are done daily with the idea that they should be done, they should be performed giving up identification as the doer and giving up all the results. That type of renunciation is in the mode of goodness, since such awareness is in the mode of goodness.
Karma phalam tyagam. So going and working in a company and offering the result of one's fruits is a karma phalam tyagam. It is not Shuddha Bhakti. So one should not mistake it to be Shuddha Bhakti. And what to speak when one is not giving the full salary, one is giving part of salary. So that is not even that then we become a little bit part of a karma Mishra Bhakti. To the degree you give, the portion of you may earn some 1 lakh rupees and giving 5,000 rupees. So yeah, because the scenario is completely different nowadays. Because in Kali Yuga, the Varna system has completely collapsed. The whole scenario is like if you want to stay in city and not practice bhakti, first you need to have a rent itself 30,000-40,000. Or you want to have your own flat, then you have to put EMI. And the whole life goes in just paying EMI and just giving some part. Out of 12 months, we give 1 month salary to Krishna and Janmashtami. So this is what happens when we go into Asuric Varnashram. Because by default, one becomes selfish. To just maintain one's life, one has to become selfish. Now nobody will cook and tell, okay, somebody is hungry, please come and take this. Who can do that? Nobody does it. Or once in a Pitra Bhaksha, somebody wants to give Brahman and tell, okay, ho gaya, saal ka pura ho gaya 11,000 mein. Do you think Antakaran Shuddhi will happen? For Antakaran Shuddhi to happen, Jiva Goswami mentions that one should become initiated, second initiated, have deities and celebrate the whole festivals with the money one is getting gorgeously, pompously, every day, offering the bhoga to them, distributing it to others, celebrating the festival. That is what is told. So when Prabhupada opened this ISKCON movement initially, he wanted to preach. And therefore, what Prabhupada gave was, okay, you offer the fruits of your result, but you chant Hare Krishna. Because like we do the preaching, right? Okay, you want art of smart work, you want art of mind control, you want this, you want that. Take it up. Chant Hare Krishna, your mind will be controlled. Chant Hare Krishna, you can manage stress. But chanting Hare Krishna is meant for purification. But the chanting of Hare Krishna is meant for pleasing Radha and Krishna. That is the consciousness of Shuddha Bhakta. But initially when we give it in such a way where a person can understand it slowly. So similarly, what the Prabhupada's movement, what Prabhupada has given us is bhakti. But initially, with that kind of understanding where you give up the results of your action and slowly you get purified and rise and come to the level where you can practice Shuddha Bhakti ultimately. Nadvesti akushalam karma kushale na sajjate tyagi sattva samavishto medavi chinna samshaya. Yes, what are you waiting for?
The intelligent renouncer situated in the mode of goodness, neither hateful of inauspicious work nor attached to auspicious work, has no doubts about work.
So now, person who is renounced in the mode of goodness, he is intelligent renouncer. He is neither hateful, मतलब there is something not so auspicious, अमंगल करने वाला कुछ कार्य होता है तो डरता नहीं है और हेटफुल नहीं होता है, अरे ये कैसे क्या हो रहा है, ये अच्छा नहीं मेरे लिए। और कुछ अच्छा चीज है वो खुश नहीं होता है, नॉट अटैच, नहीं मुझे अच्छा चीज ही करना है, ही हैज नो डाउट्स अबाउट वर्क। ठीक है, अच्छा हो या बुरा हो, मुझे अपना कार्य करना है, मुझे अपना कर्म करना है, कर्तव्य निभाना है। दैट इज व्हाट काइंड ऑफ व्हाई इट इज कमिंग। It is coming because his consciousness is purified, his antakaran has become Shuddha. And because of that, he is able to have that kind of detachment. And in that detachment, now he can enter Jnana Marg or he can enter Bhakti Marg. So, what kind of practitioner he can become? Can you imagine? So, this is the benefit of Varnashram. The wise man situated in Sattva, devoid of doubt, does not hate uncomfortable duties nor prefer comfortable duties. Yes, Prabhupada.
A person in Krishna consciousness or in the mode of goodness does not hate anyone or anything which troubles his body. He does work in the proper place and at the proper time without fearing the troublesome effects of his duty. Such a person situated in transcendence should be understood to be most intelligent and beyond all doubts in his activities.
So Prabhupada is bringing a Krishna conscious person. But yes, this is the beginning of Krishna conscious person. But this person who is being spoken here is in mode of goodness. He is in karma mishra condition, where he is doing karma at the same time because of the in Jnana Marg is nishkama karma, but for Bhakti Marg also it is karma mishra, where he is not attached to the karma. He is offering the results of his karma for Krishna's pleasure, and therefore he is not hating inconvenience, nor he is attracting convenience. He is not hating loss, nor he is attracted to only profits, but he is neutral, and he is ready to perform actions with proper time and without fearing troublesome effects. So he is situated in transcendence, means matlab, he is on his track to the Shuddha Bhakti level, where he should be understood to be the most intelligent and beyond all doubts in his activities. So this is the first step. So in the flow chart, this represents Karma Mishra Bhakti, where he is doing the karmas and he is giving up the actions. Yes, Chakravartipad, what he writes.
This verse describes the characteristics of one fixed in such sattvic tyag. Akaushalam means those activities which bring suffering to the body, such as bathing during the winter. Kushala means those activities which are pleasurable for the body, such as bathing during the summer.
So in winter to or rainy, apart from summer, to take cold water bath is not so. But still we do it because that will create some kind of purification of that. And if you have health issues, that's fine. You can have the warm water bath, but not hot water, which can agitate the senses. And in summer, okay, it's quite easy to take cold water bath. So it's not that one keep on pouring liters of water and it's stuck up there. No, just take bath and just push off and do the activities. Yes, Baldev Vidyabhushan.
This verse describes the quality of a renunciate in the mode of goodness. He does not hate that which gives pain, akushalam, such as taking bath in winter. He is not attached to that which gives comfort, kushali, such as bathing during the summer heat. This is because he is firmly fixed in sattva, sattva sama vishta, and thus very discerning. Note, seeing things as they are is the quality of sattva. The intelligence is steady, medhavi, and because he does not doubt that performance of prescribed actions under difficult circumstances will produce knowledge, chinna samshaya, such a person is known as a renunciate in the mode of good.
So is able to see as it is in sattva. So this speaks about sattvic tyaga. Nahi deha prit sakyam tyaktum karmanyaseshata yastu karma phalatyagi satyagiti avidyate. Yes.
It is indeed impossible for an embodied being to give up all activities, but he who knows the fruits of action is called one who has truly renounced.
It's indeed impossible for an embodied being to give up all activities. But he who renounces the fruits of action is called one who is truly renounced. Speaking about the tyaga and mode of goodness. It's not possible for one with the body to give up all actions completely. He who gives up the results of action is considered a tyagi. Yes, read the purport too.
Purport 18.11. It is said in Bhagavad Gita that one can never give up work at any time. Therefore, he who works for Krishna and does not enjoy the fruited result, who offers everything to Krishna, is actually renounced. There are many members of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness who work very hard in their office or in the factory or some other place, and whatever they earn, they give to the society. Such highly elevated souls are actually sannyasi and are situated in the renounced order of life. It is clearly outlined here how to renounce the fruits of work and for what purpose fruits should be renounced.
So Srila Prabhupada is speaking about whom Prabhupada is speaking here about? Which devotee?
Jayanand.
Jayanand. So he used to work and give all the salary, used to come and offer it to Prabhupada. Or Gopal Krishna used to work and used to come and give the whole salary. And Prabhupada will take whatever, okay, this is needed for bhava maintenance, take this back. That is the thought process. Such kind of, can you understand what Prabhupada is speaking here? Technically, Prabhupada is speaking here about karma mishra bhakti, where a person is going and working action, but he's not attached to the fruit, and is taking that fruit and offering the full fruit in Krishna service. Akaitava nishkama karma mishra bhakti, where he's working himself, not for himself. Therefore, nishkama. He's keeping something for himself, he's keeping nothing. Therefore, it's called akaitava. He gives something for himself, becomes kaitava. And if he's doing it for his own benefit, then it becomes sakama. So there is akaitava nishkama karma mishra bhakti. There is doing it, not keeping anything for himself, and with the intention of only pleasing Guru and Krishna. Therefore, it is akaitava nishkama karma mishra bhakti. This is the highest among the karma mishra bhakti. So such elevated souls are actually sannyasis and are situated in the renounced order of life. And most of us right now, what is happening is, okay, we work, we get some salary, and we take a part of it, a 2% or 5% or 10% based on once, and we think we have given so much. Remaining 90% is there with us for us to digest that karma which is coming. So that is the story. That is what is called the present day Asuric Varnashram. By default setting, it is there. Yes, Prabhu, read the Chakravarti purport.
Therefore, action ordained by scripture should not be given up. It is not possible for one with the body to give up activities. Sakyam is used for the proper word. Sakyani, the Lord has already said that not for a moment can the person remain without doing action. Nahi shasti shanam api jatu titasya akarma. Bhagavad Gita 3.5.
Yes, so the Jivatma cannot stay even without doing work. Actions cannot be given up at any time by one who is embodied. That has been said before. Yes, same thing is being told here. Anishtam ishtam mishram cha trividam karmana phalam bhavati atyaginam pritya natu sannyasinam pachit.
Translation. For one who is not renounced, and the threefold fruits of action, desirable, undesirable, and mixed, occur after death. But those who are in renounced order of life have no such result to suffer or enjoy.
Threefold fruits of action, desirable and undesirable mixed, accrue after death. But those who are in renounced order of life have no such results to suffer or enjoy. Basically, those who are are attached, they have to desirable, undesirable, and mixed karmas they have to accept. But those who are renounced, they don't accept the results suffer because they are detached. They are not having any, they are not having that worship mentality. Their antakaran is purified. Therefore, they don't have to accept that karmic reaction. Those who do not renounce in the prescribed way get results in the form of hellish suffering, heavenly enjoyment, or human birth in next life. This is not so for one who renounces in the correct manner. Who is the renouncing in the correct manner? Karma Mishra Bhakta, Jnana Mishra Bhakta, Shuddha Bhakta, and Jnana Sannyasi. So what they get? One gets Brahma Jyoti, another gets Salokya, Shantarati, or Vaikuntha Prapti, and in Vaikuntha also. One may get Ayodhya or Goloka based on one's rasas. That is the reason. So Bhakti, there's so much of detail in the Bhakti. Therefore, when Prabhupada is giving something in his purports, right, this person also goes back to what it. Why? Because he's doing Karma Mishra Bhakti. That also has the power to take one to Salokya Mukti. Same planet as the Lord. But yes, it is little bit beginning stage of performance of Bhakti, Shubh Bhakti. Yes. Purport.
Person in Krishna consciousness, acting in knowledge of his relationship with Krishna, is always liberated. Therefore, does not have to enjoy or suffer the result of his act after death.
Yes. Yes, Chakravarti Path.
The fault of not following the process of Tyaga is described. Those who do not renounce in prescribed way get the result form of suffering of hell, Anishtama, the pleasure of Swarga, Istama, and the human birth, Mishra, is in the next life, Pratyaya. Bhakti.
Yes. Read through this verse actually. Read the next purport, Bhaktivedanta Bhushan. This verse explains the fault.
This verse explains the fault is not having such renunciation. For those who do not renounce in the way described by me, after death, Pritya, there are three types of results. Suffering in the form of hell, Anistama, happiness in the form of Swarga, Istama, and the mixture of happiness and suffering in the human birth, that is Misra. This is not so for the person who renounce as I have declared. They attain liberation from jnana contained with the action. That is the real result of tyaga that I have explained.
The shloka speaks about these three things. Anishtama, Ishtama, Mishrama. Anishtama is hellish, Ishtama is heavenly, Mishrama is human. So desirable, undesirable, and mixed. Desirable is heavenly, and undesirable is hellish, and mixed is human. Trividam karma phalam bhagavati attyaginam pritya. Bhavati attyaginam pritya. Natu sannyasinam kvachit. But sannyasis who are in mode of goodness, they don't accept all these things. They don't have to undergo all these things. True. Because somebody is going to Brahman, Salokya, or Shantarati, or Firasas, they will not undergo all these things. Yes. Panchaitani mahabhavo karmani nibudo me. Karmani nibudo me. Sankhye kritante proktani siddhe sarva karmana. Yes.
According to the Vedanta, there are 5 causes for the accomplishment of all action. Now learn of these from me.
5 causes of actions. Yes, purport.
A question may be raised that since any activity performed must have some reaction, how is it that the person in Krishna consciousness does not suffer or enjoy the reactions of work? The Lord is citing Vedanta philosophy to show how this is possible. He says that there are 5 causes for all activities, and for success in all activity, one should consider these 5 causes. Sankhya means the stock of knowledge, and the Vedanta is the final stock of knowledge accepted by all leading acharyas. Even Shankara accepts Vedanta Sutra as such, therefore, such authority should be considered. The ultimate control is invested in the Super Soul, as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarvasya Chaham Hridhi Sanvinishta. He is engaging everyone in certain activities by reminding him of his past actions, and Krishna conscious acts done under his direction from within yield no reaction, either in this life or in the life after death.
So when we act on behalf of our Lord, we don't actually have any karmic reactions. So the person who is not renouncing in goodness, they have Ishtan, Mishra, Anishtan. So how is that person who is performing Satviki Tyaga? How is free of all these things? One may raise question. For that, these five concepts, five factors are being mentioned. But how can doing actions not give karmic results? Read book.
In order to establish that there is no contamination of karma when performing actions without false identification, the Lord speaks 5 verses. For the completion, siddhai, of all actions, know these 5 factors from my words, me. Sankhya means to speak, khaya, directly, samyak, about the Paramatma. These 5 causes are mentioned in the Vedanta scriptures, Sankhya, whose purpose is to destroy karma, krita ante.
Yes. The next verse speaks how the sattvic performer, sattvic renunciation doesn't get the karmic reaction. Yes, next you can read this one.
But why do those who perform actions and renounce the results not obtain results which are binding to this world? This happens because such a person renounces the concept of being the doer himself and has the conviction that the Supreme Lord is the main doer. 5 verses explain this principle. No, Nibodha, from me, the 5 causes for the accomplishment, siddhai, of all actions, O mighty armed one. The Lord then mentions the proof for this. This is described in that which produces knowledge, Sankhya, the Vedanta scripture, Sankhya. How is it described? It produces conclusions, krita ante. Vedanta concludes that Paramatma is the initiator of all other causes of action. He is known as Antaryami Brahman, the Brahman within. This has also been stated in the Gita in verses such as Sarvasya Chaham Hridhi and will be stated later in the other verses such as Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam.
So basically, the performer who is in the mode of goodness, Satvik Tyagi, he knows that he's not the doer, Lord is the doer, and he's just acting on his behalf. That is the reason he doesn't get accumulated. Okay, so it's 3 minutes left. If any of you have any questions to be asked, any question, doubts, or any comments, we will take or we will end now. Otherwise, next 3 minutes we can't cover the next book. Okay, the whole concept, at least you understood, na? What is the concept of Tyaga and Sannyasis? Basically, in goodness, one gets Antakaran Shuddhi. And when Antakaran Shuddh, he understands he is not the doer. And who is the doer? He can see things in goodness. The doer is Lord, and I'm just a Visena in care of. Many times we write on our pen, on our notebook, on our dhoti, on our kurta, on our shelf, I see you. So that we may write theoretically, but you also have to act on it. At least we are aware that we should do it, but sometimes it becomes mechanical and we write in care of and still we want fruits, we want results. So, but it is not the thing. The main important is Antakaran Shuddhi, and Antakaran Shuddhi comes in traditional Varnashram when one does the Panch Mahayagya. And when we translate it into Krishna consciousness, we are also supposed to do it centered around Krishna. Whatever we get fruits, we should offer it to Guru. And to that degree, we purify our heart. That is the conclusion. And to that degree, we don't get entangled to Ishta, Anishta, and Mishra. So this is a practical applicability in our life. That means whether we are Grasthas, whether we are Brahmacharis, whatever we are, the whole goal and soul understanding is we are not the doers, Krishna is the doer, and whatever is coming, my Lord's mercy in our life, we should offer it wholeheartedly in Krishna's service, not get attached to it. The moment we get attached, then we have to pay the price. Okay? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki.
Jai. Jai.
We'll meet on probably on Tuesday. At least we'll start Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 days rather than 4 days. Is that fine with all of you? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Hare Krishna. Next Tuesday.